NOSFERATU, the Vampyre. I have mixed emotions about this movie. Like, I really do have mixed emotions about this movie. And it is, man, I don't know exactly what the fuck to say about this movie. On one hand, I think this movie looks fantastic. It is. Robert Eggers fucking just directed the shit out of this movie. This movie looks beautiful. I can't wait to see this movie on 4K when I buy it. I really can't. But on the other hand, I look at this movie and I'm like, why is this movie not doing it for me? And I think I know why the movie is not working for me. And it's because of Count Orlok himself. I really wish that Count Orlok didn't speak as much as he did in this movie. Like, if you're going to give him the monologues like he was going to have throughout this movie, you should have kept him talking in his native tongue, in my opinion. To me, that had much more gravitas. It felt much more creepy. And you should have kept his dialogue maybe less. You know what I mean? I think he says over something like 150 words. You should have had him say like at least 100 or so. That number might be a little low because now I think about it, he might have said a little bit more than that. But the point with standing is like I just wish that Count Orlok didn't talk as much as he did in this movie. I feel like that takes away from his intimidation factor, his creepiness, and also when you see him. You can't help but laugh because this motherfucker looks like Rasputin. Like, I don't want to. What is with that fucking mustache? Who fucking made that call, yo? I want to know who made that call about that mustache because that mustache took me out. I'm like, are you fucking serious? This motherfucker coming out here looking like fucking John Holmes from the 70s and shit. Like, nah, man, nah. You know, and Lily Rose Depp is our protagonist here. She courts this spirit, this demon, because she felt lonely. And ever since then, she has been attached to him. He resurfaces once he finds out that he's going to be married. He starts to torment her and stalk her, and then starts getting everybody around her that she loves, and he starts feeding off them. There was a moment in here that involved two kids that I didn't think they were going to go to, but they went to it, and I'm like, holy shit, that was... Like, yeah, dude. Like, oh shit, no one's safe. And by the end of it, it's proven that no one really is safe. At the heart of this movie, it's a romantic story because this is basically a retelling of Dracula, of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And if you're familiar with either the novel or Francis Ford Coppola's movie, they're both romantic movies at the core of it. This movie is kind of like that. You know, this is kind of like, you know, The Crush or Fear. Like it's along those lines where the romance is one-sided, the love is one-sided, and Lily Rose Depp is trying to do everything in her power to make sure that everyone that she loves, particularly Nicholas Holt's character, is safe. This is one of those movies where I think it's going to age better with time. And I think the more that I sit with this, the more I think about it, the more I start to like it. The more I start thinking, oh yeah, this and that. But the problem is that every time I think about Count Orlok, it takes me out of the movie because I did not care for the design of Count Orlok. I really wish they kept him in the shadows. They kept him silhouetted. I really wish we didn't see him. I wish we just heard him and just let our imaginations run wild with how he really looked, in my opinion. Because how I imagine how he looks in here is drastically different than what is presented to me in the movie. And I think that to me is what hurts the movie because the design choices, the look of Count Orlok really hurts this movie, in my opinion. Like, it does. I think this movie is going to get better with time. And the more you sit with it, the more you marinate on it, the more appreciative that you're going to be when it comes to NOSFERATU.